Hello everybody, my name is Apura and today I'm going to be talking about solar storms. So first of all, what is a solar storm? Well, everybody knows what the sun is. Solar storms come from the sun. This is the sun and let me draw the earth. The earth. This is not to scale. Anyway, so basically the sun is the star and what is the solar storm? Is it a storm that happens on the sun? Well, that's what I'm here to explain. So first we need to understand something, that the sun has a magnetic field. Okay, so it's a magnetic field like this. Like I think we have all seen Earth's magnetic field as well. Even the sun has one, a much powerful one than the Earth does. And as everybody knows, the magnetic field goes through like that. But as you can see, the Earth at the center, the magnetic field is all wavy actually because it's this molten liquid that keeps swaggling all around. Same thing happens with the sun, except the sun is a much larger piece of molten liquid. So usually we saw magnetic fields going like that. And on the Earth, this is mostly correct because that tiny part there is a little wobbly, like completely crazy, like that magnetic field is completely disturbed. But otherwise, it's pretty correct. But for the sun, this is pretty wrong image. The external magnetic fields are very correct, but the internal ones, because there's so much thing except for the core of the star, which is hard. But besides that, the magnetic field is all crazy, all crazy. Even on the surface, it's pretty crazy. One magnetic field is going like this, like this, like this, in loops, blah blah blah. As you can see, it is going everywhere. The magnetic field, there's so much moltenness. The magnetic field really has no general direction, and magnetic fields also cause sunspots. So these tangled loop of magnetic fields, eventually some of them, and these magnetic field random loops also start appearing on the surface like that, going crazily all through the star, around like this, like this. And sometimes a loop of this with some plasma comes, and then that loop just bursts off, launching some plasma outward. And in this process also, some very minor loops which are constantly there create solar wind. So solar wind is constantly coming at us, and that's why the Earth's magnetic field is there. Now the Earth's magnetic field is much neater, and on the inside it is also much neater. But right now the outside matters because the solar wind coming from the outside. So the wind hits this. Okay, sorry, wrong color. Gets directed by the Earth and lands on the poles like that. The magnetic field guides them right there. And some of the solar wind misses, some of them gets hit here. You guys get the point. Some of it will just fly past Earth completely. And you guys get the point. And the reason Mars has no life is because this Mars has literally no magnetic field. So the solar wind just keeps hitting it, which is bad. Which is possibly why life does not exist on Mars. And which is why we even think life could exist. Because it had a magnetic field once upon a time, but it got worn down. Even Earth will get, but Earth is the bigger the planet, the harder it is, the longer it takes for the magnetic field to get worn down. So here's how it will happen. Any. But what happens sometimes is those big chunks hit us, and even those were pretty ready. But sometimes a solar superstorm hits us. And now even those are not a problem. But it is a problem when something like this happens. So now, again, let me just clear the canvas right now. Okay, and here is what happens. So let's draw a much bigger picture. So this is Earth, this is magnetic field. And I'm gonna zoom out. Magnetic field. And this is a huge chunk of plasma flying towards Earth. Oh god, really big chunk of plasma. Now this plasma will never ever hit Earth, obviously because of the magnetic field, and plasma is just a big goo of electrons, which is why it guides along the magnetic fields. But what happens sometimes is if the magnetic fields are aligned just right, they will merge. And when that happens, In the process of merging, the Earth's magnetic field, and this is one, and the plasma will now like get split. It will split across like that. Oh, sorry, my bad. It gets split and spread across. Will completely get spread across and fly out. But the magnetic field of the Earth has become stretched. It will also stretch like that because they are one right now. And eventually, this tail contains too much energy and it snaps because this thing is continuously pulling on the Earth's magnetic field, keeps pulling, and then it snaps, and then it launches a lot of energy back at Earth. Now, this energy is magnetic energy, and magnetic energy is completely harmless to humans. So don't worry, no solar storm can ever kill humans directly. So if this happened a few hundred years ago, nobody would have ever cared. I mean that nobody would have even cared about it. Do you know why? Because magnets don't even harm machines made out of bones and muscles, bones and flesh. They don't even hurt us because the magnetic fields are harmless. If you have gone next to a big magnet, can it harm you? No. I've gone myself next to a huge magnet. They do not do anything to you. But they do harm electronics. Why? Because magnetism is a part of a dual force electromagnetism. Where there is magnetism, there is electricity around. Electricity can be created if there's magnetism, and if there's electricity, magnetism can be created around it. So what basically happens when this hits? Now everybody knows our wires and stuff. Electricity is flowing, and therefore there is some small magnetic field rotating around. Now when this comes, magnetism can also create electricity. So it might create electricity in the wrong direction, overflow on one side, stop electricity, do mayhem basically. And that is why it is very scary. And a few hundred years ago, when there was no real electronic gadget, this will not be scary. However, there are ways to stop GMEs. For example, doing a temp to stop, I mean solar storm, not GMEs. CMEs they are also called, but these mega solar storms that do this alignment thingy and then launch back more stuff, launch magnetic fields to Earth. When this happens, we can have like temporary blackouts for a second till the solar storm has passed, and then we can return everything back. Because if we turn everything off, then it's not really able to change any currents. It might inflict some currents, or it won't be able to damage much. And that's why we won't have too many problems if we do everything correctly. And that's why most times, if they're small ones, we don't even notice because everybody knows, because the engineers and stuff know what to do. So thank you everybody for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to support me. Like this video if you like it. And last but not least, don't forget to hit the notification bell, because if you don't, then you're gonna miss out any new videos I upload. So if you don't want to miss out any new content, please turn on the notification bell. Okay, bye.